Good morning, everyone. In last lecture, we discussed about the different kind of offenses we may have in e-commerce. Now, the last part, which talks about the security aspect of e-commerce, we have the legal provisions of Information Technology Act 2000, in which we are supposed to discuss about different penalties or adjudication. Now, the main provisions or sections we are supposed to do are displayed on the screen. I hope it's clearly visible to you all. Now, coming to the first section, section 43, which talks about the penalty and compensation for damage to computer and computer system, etc. Basically, section 43 is the one of the main section of the among the different provisions of Information Technology 2000. It is talking about the penalty and compensation which will be levied on the person in case some kind of damage is done to the computer or hardware or software. Now, if any person who is unauthorized is having unauthorized access and is using some program or computer network and create some kind of restriction to any of these things, then he'll be liable to pay damages. Now, if any person without permission of the owner, that means any unauthorized access if any person is doing, or a person who is in charge of computer system or computer network, have they have the access or secures access to such computer system or computer network. If the unauthorized person is having access to system or network and he downloads, copies or extracts, retrieves any kind of data or information from computer database, then which includes the information which has been stored in any removable storage medium. अब इसका मतलब यहाँ तक ये है कि कोई भी इंडिविजुअल जिसको एक्सेस की परमिशन नहीं है and he is getting somehow he is getting access to any system or any computer network, और वहाँ से वो किसी भी कंप्यूटर से या रिमूवेबल स्टोरेज मीडियम, लाइक इफ वी हैव पेन ड्राइव, इफ वी हैव CDs, इफ वी हैव एक्सटर्नल हार्ड डिस्क, तो वो हमारे सारे के सारे स्टोरेज मीडियम्स होते हैं, उनमें से किसी से कहीं से भी वो कोई भी डेटा या कोई भी इंफॉर्मेशन को अगर डाउनलोड करता है, कॉपी करता है, एक्सट्रैक्ट करता है, एंड ही इज अनऑथोराइज्ड, देन ही इज आल्सो बी लायबल टू पे द डैमेजेस इन वे ऑफ कंपनसेशन to the person whose information or data has been stolen or has been retrieved by him. इसके अलावा में if he introduces or causes to be introduced any computer contaminant or computer virus into any system or network. अगर इसके अलावा में if an unauthorized person introduce some kind of virus to the computer of some other person, then also he'll be creating damage to the system of some other person by having unauthorized access, then also he'll be liable to pay damages. इसके अलावा में if he damages or causes to be damaged any computer system or computer network, the data, computer database or any other program residing in such computer or network. इसके अलावा में अगर कोई भी अनऑथोराइज्ड पर्सन किसी तरीके का डैमेज क्रिएट कर देता है, डिस्ट्रक्शन क्रिएट कर देता है किसी भी सिस्टम पे, किसी भी नेटवर्क पे, जहाँ पे अलग अलग प्रोग्राम्स हम लोगों के होते हैं, कोई डेटाबेस है, अगर उसको डैमेज कर दिया, डिस्ट्रॉय कर दिया, then also he will be liable to pay the compensation. Apart from these, if the unauthorized person causes any kind of disruption to computer system, if he denies or causes the denial of access to any person who is authorized to access any computer or networks, then also he'll be liable to pay the compensation. इसके अलावा में he provides any kind of assistance to any person to facilitate access to a computer system or network in contravention of the provisions of this act, rules or regulations made thereunder, and he charges the services availed of by a person or to the account of another person by tampering with or manipulating any computer system or network. Now, in a whole, what section 43 is saying, that if any person who is not authorized to have any kind of access to any particular system of some other person, then he'll be liable for the damages or the destruction or any kind of problem he might have created to some system or some network by having unauthorized access. Then he will be liable to pay the damages by way of compensation to the person who has been affected by any kind of these activities. जो आपका सेक्शन 43 है वो आपको ओवरऑल ये बताता है कि कौन सा इंडिविजुअल ऐसा है जिसको आप कंपनसेशन के लिए लायबल कर दोगे, हु विल बी रिस्पॉन्सिबल, हु विल बी लायबल टू पे द डैमेजेस or the penalty or compensation to the person whose data has been stolen, whose information has been stolen by just having the unauthorized access, or his system might have been corrupted just because of some kind of virus the unauthorized person has introduced to his system. Now coming to section 65. Section 65 talks about the tampering with computer source documents. कंप्यूटर के कोई भी डॉक्यूमेंट्स अगर कंप्यूटर पे हैं उसमें अगर किसी तरीके की टैम्परिंग की जाती है, उसमें किसी तरीके की छेड़छाड़ की जाती है, तो उसमें देयर इज द ऑफेंस और उसका पेनल्टी लगती है. सेक्शन 75 के अकॉर्डिंग what is the offense? Now the person who ever knowingly or intentionally conceals, destroys, alters, or intentionally knowingly causes another to conceal, destroy, or alter any computer source code used for a computer program, computer system, or network, when the computer source code is required to be kept or maintained by law for time being enforced. The computer source code means the listing of programs, computer commands, design, layout, program analysis of computer resources, any form. What does this mean is, in case if any person with bad intention, if he knowingly with intentions, if he is destroying or making some kind of alteration or modification to any computer source code of some other person, then he will be liable for the penalty. Computer source code क्या होता है? Now if I'm using my system, I'll be having different kind of programs. There will be different computer commands, designing, structure, layout, program analysis, सब चीज़ें होती हैं मशीन पे. अब अगर उनसे प्रोग्रामिंग में, कंप्यूटर कमांड्स में, डिजाइनिंग में, लेआउट में किसी भी तरीके से इंटेंशनली अगर कोई अनऑथोराइज पर्सन उसमें किसी भी तरीके की ऑल्टरेशंस या मॉडिफिकेशंस कर रहा है, कोई चीज़ कंसील कर रहा है, कोई चीज़ में डिस्ट्रक्शन या डैमेज कर रहा है, देन ही विल बी लायबल फॉर द इम्प्रिजनमेंट up to 3 years or fine up to 2 lakh rupees, or these both penalties may be there. उसको हो सकता है 3 साल की सजा मिले, हो सकता है सिर्फ 2 लाख का फाइन, मैक्सिमम 2 लाख का फाइन उसको चार्ज किया जाए, या दोनों भी हो सकते हैं. डिपेंड्स सिचुएशन टू सिचुएशन कि एक्चुअली जो उसने प्रॉब्लम्स क्रिएट की हैं, जान के जो उसने गड़बड़ की है वो किस लेवल तक की थी, उसे कितना डैमेज हुआ है. इट टोटली डिपेंड्स ऑन ऑल दीज थिंग्स. बट इन केस सम काइंड ऑफ डिस्ट्रक्शन or alteration is being done on any computer source code with the intentions of doing that, then the person will be liable for the penalty. Then we have section 66 which is related to the computer related offenses. यहाँ पर क्या है? If any person dishonestly or fraudulently does any act which has been referred to in section 43 which we discussed अर्लियर सेक्शन 43 में जितने भी एक्ट रेफर किए हुए थे उसमें कोई भी इंडिविजुअल जान के कोई भी अगर इस तरह का कोई काम करता है देन ही विल बी लायबल फॉर द पेनल्टी विच मे बी the imprisonment up to 3 years or a fine up to 5 lakh rupees or both penalties may be levied on the person. Then section 66A is there, which talks about the punishment for sending offensive messages through communication services. It is basically talking of using the abusive language or some kind of inconveniences created or कहीं आपने इल इंटेंशन से बैड इंटेंशन से अगर कम्युनिकेशन सर्विसेज को यूज करके कोई ऑफेंसिव मैसेजेस किसी को भेजे हैं using the machines, using the systems, then the penalty will be levied on the person who has done this kind of offense. Now any person who sends the any information that is offensive or has menacing character, or he has sent any information which he knows to be false but just to create annoyance, inconvenience, danger, obstruction, if he want to insult someone, if he wants to have some kind of create some kind of problem to some other person, or maybe he's just showing his hatred or bad intentions by make and he is doing this by making use of the computer resources or the communication device, or any person who sends any kind of message or sharing the mail for the purpose of creating the disturbance or inconvenience or to deceive or mislead the recipient about the origin of such messages, then he will be liable for the penalty up to 3 years and the fine, which may be decided by the court. Then we have section 66B. 66B talks about the punishment for dishonestly receiving stolen computer resource or communication device. अब किसी ने चोरी की मशीन की सिस्टम कंप्यूटर चुरा लिया और उसको आगे बेच दिया, तो अगर चोरी किया हुआ सामान भी अगर आप खरीद रहे हो तो वो भी आपने एक तरीके से क्राइम किया है, आपको पनिशमेंट उसकी मिल सकती है अगर आप पकड़े जा रहे हो. तो एनी पर्सन, अब इसमें ऑफेंस क्या है, whoever dishonestly receives or retains any stolen computer resource or communication device knowing or having reason to believe the same to be stolen device. इसका मतलब कोई भी इंडिविजुअल जो ये जानता है कि वो चोरी की डिवाइस है, चोरी के कंप्यूटर रिसोर्सेज हैं और उसके बाद भी उसको रिटेन करके रखता है, then that would be treated as the offense and the penalty of imprisonment up to 3 years or a fine up to rupees 1 lakh rupees or both may be there as the penalty. जितने भी ऑफेंसेस हैं जहाँ पे पेनल्टी में इम्प्रिजनमेंट या फाइन या दोनों हैं, इट टोटली डिपेंड्स what level of the offense has been done and the evidences which are there, and the penalty can be anything out of these. Now coming to section 66C, it is talking of the punishment which will be there for the identity theft. तो अगर मैं किसी कोई अनऑथोराइज्ड एक्सेस करके किसी की आइडेंटिटी को यूज कर रही हूँ, अपनी छुपाकर किसी और की यूज कर ली और उससे कुछ फायदा उठाने की कोशिश की, then that is treated as the fraud or the punishment will be there. Now any person whoever fraudulently or dishonestly make use of the electronic signature, password or any unique identity of any other person, then he'll be liable for the imprisonment up to 3 years and a fine up to rupees 1 lakh. मैंने अगर जानकर गलत इंटेंशंस से अगर किसी के डिजिटल सिग्नेचर्स को यूज कर लिया, एक्सेस लेके उसके कोई पासवर्ड्स को यूज कर दिया, उसकी आइडेंटिटी को यूज कर लिया किसी और इंडिविजुअल की, then it is treated as the offense and the punishment for identity theft will be the imprisonment which may be extended to up to 3 years along with a fine of मैक्सिमम ऑफ 1 लाख रुपीज। तो यहाँ पर पेनल्टी जो है उसमें इम्प्रिजनमेंट के साथ में फाइन है, जो कि इम्प्रिजनमेंट अप टू 3 years है और फाइन अप टू 1 लाख रुपीज है, लेकिन है दोनों ही पनिशमेंट्स। अभी से पहले जितने भी हमने पनिशमेंट्स देखे थे उसमें और या दोनों थे, अब यहाँ पर और का ऑप्शन नहीं है, यहाँ पे दोनों ही चीजें होंगी। बट टाइम लिमिट इम्प्रिजनमेंट भी कैन be maximum of 3 years and fine will be up to 1 lakh rupees. Then 66D section is there, which talks about the punishment in case cheating by personation by using computer resources there. Now the offense in this section is that any person whoever by means of any communication device or resource cheats by any personation, then the imprisonment up to 3 years will be there along with the fine of up to 1 लाख रुपीज। तो अगर आप किसी से चीटिंग कर रहे हो कंप्यूटर रिसोर्सेज के यूज को यूज करके, देन यू विल बी लायबल फॉर द पनिशमेंट। सेक्शन 66E डील्स विद द पनिशमेंट फॉर वायलेशन ऑफ प्राइवेसी। अगर आप किसी के प्राइवेट एरिया में अगर आप जा रहे हो, आप एक्सेस ले रहे हो अनऑथराइज्ड और उसकी प्राइवेसी के जो रूल्स थे, कंडीशंस थी, उनको वायलेट कर रहे हो, अनऑथराइज्ड एक्सेस अगर आप कहीं पे भी कर रहे हो, देन दैट इज कंसिडर्ड एज द ऑफेंस। नाउ एनी पर्सन whoever intentionally or knowingly captures, publishes, transmits the image of a private area of any person without the consent, under these kind of circumstances he is violating the privacy of that person, then he will be liable for the imprisonment up to 3 years or fine up to 2 lakh rupees, or both imprisonment and fine may be levied on the person. तो अगर किसी कहीं पर भी if I am having an unauthorized access, जान के मैं अनऑथराइज एक्सेस अगर कहीं कर रही हूँ और वो प्राइवेट एरिया जाकर इफ आई एम जस्ट कैप्चरिंग दी इमेजेस एंड आई एम मेकिंग इट पब्लिक, और मैं उसको कहीं शेयर कर रही हूँ विदाउट द कंसेंट ऑफ द पर्सन, देन दैट इज कंसिडर्ड एज द वायलेशन ऑफ द प्राइवेसी रूल्स। तो वो आपके लिए ऑफेंस की सिचुएशन हो जाएगी एंड द पेनल्टी विल बी देयर। 66F section is talking about the punishment for cyber terrorism. I hope you do remember what do you mean by cyber terrorism. We discussed it in my earlier lectures also. Now the offense is any person whoever with an intention to threaten the unity, integrity, security, sovereignty of India, or to strike terror in people, or knowingly or intentionally penetrates or accesses a computer resource without authorization and by means of such conduct obtains access to information, data, or computer database which is restricted for reasons of security, integrity of India. Now, the person who's doing any of these things, then he will be, committing a problem, committing a mistake, and conspires to commit cyber terrorism, then the penalty will be levied on him, which may extend to the लाइफ इम्प्रिजनमेंट। अब इसमें क्या है, साइबर टेररिज्म का जो बेसिक मतलब था वो यही था कि इंडियन कंटेक्स्ट में हम यहाँ पे बात करते हैं पूरे इंडिया की, अगर सिक्योरिटी पे कहीं आँच आ जाती है, यूनिटी पे कोई अगर प्रॉब्लम क्रिएट करने की कोशिश करता है, then that person, if he is trying to create some kind of terror using internet facilities, then that is the case of cyber terrorism. And any person who's found guilty and is found doing any kind of these things, and if he is trying to commit cyber terrorism, then he may be getting the life imprisonment. Then next we have section 67 where we are supposed to discuss the punishment for publishing or transmitting obscene material in digital form. Now what is the offense? Offense is any person whoever publishes or transmits or causes to be published or transmitted in any e-form any material which is serious or appeals to be prurient interest, or if it affect is such as to tend deprave or corrupt persons who are likely having regard to all relevant circumstances to read, see or hear the matter contained or embodied in it. Then the penalty will be, if it is done for the first time, then there will be the imprisonment up to 3 years along with a fine up to 5 lakh rupees, and subsequent conviction is there. This imprisonment of up to 3 years and the fine up to 5 lakh rupees is for the first time if you are doing such kind of offense, and in case the offense is repeated, then second time onwards you'll be having an imprisonment up to 5 years along with a fine which may extend to 10 lakh rupees. तो अगर आप किसी भी तरीके का ऑब्सेंस मटेरियल डिजिटल प्लेटफॉर्म पे पब्लिश कर देते हैं, उसको शेयर करके ट्रांसफर करने की कोशिश करते हैं, देन यू विल बी फाउंड गिल्टी, और पहली बार में आपकी फर्स्ट कन्विक्शन के हिसाब से 3 साल तक की सज़ा और 5 साल तक का फाइन होगा, और अगर दोबारा से आप इस तरह की हरकतें करेंगे देन 5 साल तक की आपको सजा हो सकती है, एंड अलॉन्ग विद द फाइन व्हिच मे एक्सटेंड टू 10 लाख रुपीस. Then next section is talking about the punishment for publishing or transmitting of any material containing sexually explicit act at digital platform. The section is 67A. The offences, like any person who ever publishes or transmits or causes to be published or transmitted in any e-form any material which contains sexually explicit act or conduct. तो अगर कोई sexually harassment से related अगर आपने sexually explicit और conduct का कोई भी आपने material आपने पब्लिश किया, शेयर किया, ट्रांसफ़र कर दिया एक प्लेटफॉर्म से दूसरे जगह पर, देन दैट इज द ऑफेंस, एंड द पेनल्टी फॉर द फर्स्ट टाइम is the imprisonment up to 5 years along with a fine of up to 10 lakh rupees, and in subsequent convictions you may have the imprisonment up to 7 years along with a fine up to 10 lakh rupees. Then 67B section is talking of the punishment in case of the publishing or transmitting of material depicting children in sexually explicit act in digital form. तो इससे पहले वाला जो था section A, that was in general when you are transmitting or you are publishing any kind of sexually explicit material or act in electronic form. Now it is specifically mentioning the same situation, especially where the children are being involved. So any offense, the offense is that any person who ever publishes or transmits or causes to be published or transmitted material in any electronic form which depicts children engaged in sexually explicit act or conduct. Now the focus in section 67B is on the children who are involved, in case children are being engaged in such kind of misconduct, or at the same time any person who creates some kind of text or digital images or collects, seeks, browses, downloads, advertises, promotes, exchanges or distributes any material in any e-form depicting children in obscene or indecent manner, or he cultivates, entices, induces children to online relationship with one or more children for or on sexually explicit act or in a manner that may offend a reasonable adult on the computer resource. Apart from this, he may also facilitate abusing children online. He may record in any electronic form any kind of abuse or that of others pertaining to sexually explicit act with children. So now in this section, the focus is on the involvement of children in any kind of sexually explicit act. Then the person who is doing all these things, he will be liable for the imprisonment up to 5 years along with a fine which may extend to 10 lakh rupees for the first time, and in second and subsequent convictions he will be having the imprisonment of up to 7 years along with a fine of up to 10 lakh rupees. Section 67C is the next section which talks about the preservation and retention of information by intermediaries. The offense under this section is talking of that any intermediary shall preserve and retain information for the duration and in such a manner and format as the central government may prescribe. Any intermediary who intentionally or knowingly contravenes, then he will be liable for the penalty of an imprisonment up to 3 years along with a fine. Now, what happens is that the central government has prescribed a particular format or a manner in which the information should be preserved, it should be retained at digital platform. Now, any kind of any person or any intermediary, if he is with bad intentions, if they do not retain or preserve information in that particular format, then that is treated as that is considered as the offense, and the imprisonment up to 3 years along with a fine, which may be which is decided by the court. Then the fine along with the imprisonment of up to 3 years will be there as the penalty. Section 68 is talking of the powers of the controllers to give directions. Now, the offence under this section is the controller may, by order, direct a certifying authority or any employee of such authority to take such measures or cease carrying on such activities as specified in the order if those are necessary to ensure compliance with the provisions of this Act, rules, or any regulations made thereunder. Any person who intentionally or knowingly fails to comply with any order under subsection 1 shall be guilty of an offence, and the penalty will be an imprisonment up to 2 years or a fine up to 1 lakh rupees, or both may be there. Now, this section says that we have the certifying authorities and we have the controller of the certifying authorities. The controller directs the certifying authorities or any employee of such authority to take different kind of measures or take corrective measures or seize the activities which are specified under the different kind of provisions and which are illegal to be done. Then any person who with bad intentions, they are not following the rules or provisions or regulations which have been levied, which have been there in the Act, then he'll be charged with a fine up to 1 lakh rupees or the imprisonment up to 2 years, or both penalty may be there. Then we have section 16(9). It's talking about the power to use directions for interception or monitoring or decryption of any information through any computer resource. Now, I told, we discussed in previous lectures that when we transfer, when we share the file or data from one system to another system, what happens is that we have the process of encryption and decryption, that is known as cryptography. क्रिप्टोग्राफी एक कॉमन procedure है जिसमें आपके two options are there, two procedures are there. One is encryption and second one is decryption. Now the section 69 is talking of the decryption. Basically जब भी हम कोई भी अपनी फाइल को शेयर करते हैं, ट्रांसफर करते हैं एक जगह से दूसरी जगह में, it has to be in the encrypted form, coded language में होती है, and once it has been received by the actual receiver who was supposed to receive the file, then the file will be again converted into the normal language which we can understand. तो जो coded language होती है वापस से उसको decode किया जाता है and that is known as decryption. अब इसमें offense क्या है? Where the central government or state government or any of its officers who are specially authorized to do the same in this behalf, if satisfied that it is necessary or expedient so to do in the interest of sovereignty and integrity of India, defense of India, security of the state, friendly relations with foreign states, or public order, or preventing incitement to the commission of any cognizable offence relating to above, or for investigation of any offence, it may subject to the provision of subsection 2 for reasons to be recorded in writing, by order, direct any agency of the appropriate government to intercept, monitor or decrypt or cause to be intercepted monitored or decrypted any information generated, transmitted, received or stored in any computer system. इसका मतलब अगर आपने किसी को अथॉरिटी दी हुई है, सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट ने डायरेक्शंस दी हुई हैं that they can monitor or decrypt or cause any kind of interception अगर है वहाँ पर, then it's okay. Otherwise, in case it's not being, you don't have the powers, you don't have the directions to do the same, then that is taken as the offense. Now, the procedure and safeguards subject to which such interception or monitoring or decryption may be carried out shall be such as may be prescribed, and the subscriber or intermediary or any other person in charge of the computer resource shall, when called upon by any agency referred to in subsection 1, extend all facilities and technical assistance to provide access to or secure access to computer resource generating, transmitting, receiving or storing any kind of information. Now, any person who is the subscriber or intermediary or a person who has been given the charge of the computer resources, now if he is called upon by any agency, he has to, there is the extension or the extended all the facilities and technical assistance so that he can provide access to or secure access to the computer resource generating, transmitting, sharing or storing such kind of information. He may be there to intercept, monitor or decrypt the information. He is also there to provide information which is stored in the computer resource. Now, the person or intermediary or any person who fails to assist the agency in doing all these work, now if he fails to intercept, monitor, decrypt the information, if he fails to provide information which has been stored in the computer resource, if he fails in providing the technical assistance to everyone who's involved, and if he fails to give the secured access to the computer resources so that any kind of data or information can be generated, transmitted or shared, or it can be stored, then in case if he fails to do all these things or one of these things, then the offense will be there and the imprisonment up to 7 years along with a fine will be levied as the penalty. So अगर कोई भी authorized person, the person who has been given the authority by the central government or state government, especially we are talking about the security in terms of the monitoring or decryption of the files and information. Now, if any person who has the authority to provide technical help, technical assistance, and if he is failing to do so, then the imprisonment will be there up to 7 years and the fine will also be there. Next section we have is section 69A. It's related to the power to use directions for blocking for public access of any information through computer resources. Now what happens is you have the power where you can issue directions so that you can block any kind of information which is there in the computer so that it cannot be accessed by the public. Basically, you are using your directions, using your powers and directing the individuals so that some kind of access cannot be taken by public to any information using some kind of computer resources. Now, what is the offense? Where the central government or any of its officers who are specially authorized by the central government, in case the person, authorized person, is satisfied that it is necessary or expedient to do so in the interest of the security of India, defense of India, or if in case you have friendly relations with foreign countries, then to prevent incitement to the commission of any offense which is related to above, where we are talking of the blocking of any kind of information for public access, then you may direct by giving orders in writing. You may direct any agency of the government or intermediary to block for the access by the public or cause to be blocked access by the public any kind of information which is generated, transmitted, received, stored, hosted in any computer resource. Here we are talking about the security of India, integrity and defense of India, and in case any unauthorized person, if in case the authorized person, if he is satisfied that the information which has been shared, information which has been generated, received or stored in any computer resource for the defense of India or for the maintenance of integrity of the country, the procedure and safeguards subject to which such kind of blocking for access by the public may be carried out shall be such as may be prescribed. Then that means the procedure and safeguards where you are trying, where you are giving the instructions for the blocking of the access by the public, and the intermediary who fails to comply with the directions which we have discussed right now, then he will be the person who will be liable to pay the penalty. तो अगर सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट या उसके ऑथोराइज्ड ऑफिसर्स ने अगर कोई भी इंफॉर्मेशन को ब्लॉक करने के लिए डायरेक्शंस दिए हैं कि इसको पब्लिक प्लेटफॉर्म पे नहीं देना है, so that public cannot have the access to that particular information, it should be blocked, तो वो आपको फॉलो करनी पड़ेगी. लाइक अगर डिफेंस की साइट्स हैं, डिफेंस की कोई इंफॉर्मेशन है, वो कॉन्फिडेंशियल इंफॉर्मेशन होती है. नाउ इफ वी आर टॉकिंग ऑफ द इंटीग्रिटी ऑफ इंडिया और द सिक्योरिटी ऑफ इंडिया, डिफेंस की अगर हम बात करते हैं, तो कोई भी ऐसी इंफॉर्मेशन जो सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट ने या उनके ऑथराइज्ड लोगों ने अगर ये कहा है कि सच काइंड ऑफ इंफॉर्मेशन शुड नॉट बी मेड पब्लिक so that they cannot have the access to that information, then that information should be kept confidential. Now if by chance if any person is having an unauthorized access to that information, or if he is sharing such kind of information with the public, then he will be liable, he is doing offense and he is liable to pay the penalty in the form of imprisonment up to 7 years along with a fine which may be which is decided by the court. तो अगर मुझे सिक्योरिटी के रीजंस की वजह से कोई इंफॉर्मेशन को कॉन्फिडेंशियल रखना था और मैंने उसको कॉन्फिडेंशियल रखा नहीं और मैं पकड़ी गई कि मैंने वो इंफॉर्मेशन शेयर की है which was supposed to be kept confidential just because of the maintenance of the integrity or defense or security of India, then I'll be having the imprisonment up to 7 years along with the fine. Then we have section 69B. It's talking of the power to authorize, to monitor and collect traffic data or information through any computer resource for cyber security. It's basically we are authorizing any person to monitor and retrieve or collect the traffic data which is being when we are talking of any kind of data or information which is moving, which is being there in the network, and just to maintain the cyber security we are authorizing any person so that he can monitor and collect the traffic data or information. अब इसमें offense कहाँ पे आएगा? The central government, what happens is that the central government may to enhance cyber security and for identification, analysis and prevention of the intrusion or spread of computer contaminant in the country by notifying the information or by notification in official gazette, they authorize any agency of the government so that they can monitor and collect traffic data or information which has been generated, transmitted, received and stored in any computer resource. So actually what happens is just to maintain cyber security, what does the central government do? They give the permission, they authorize some agency of the government itself, and the agency which has been given the authority, now what the work they'll do is that they have to monitor and collect traffic data or information which has been generated, transmitted, received or stored in any computer resources. Basically, we are talking of the maintenance of cybersecurity by giving the authority of an agency of the government to just monitor and collecting of the data and information. The second point is the intermediary or any person who is in charge of the computer resources shall provide technical assistance and extend all facilities to such agency to enable online access or to secure and provide online access to the computer resource generating, transmitting, receiving or storing such traffic data or information. That means any person who is in charge of the computer resources, he has to provide the technical assistance anytime wherever it is being needed, in case you want to generate, transmit, receive or store any kind of traffic data or information. The third point says that the procedure and safeguards for monitoring and collecting traffic data or information shall be such as may be prescribed. So each and every procedure and safeguards to monitor and collect traffic data or information is being prescribed in the provisions. Any intermediary who intentionally or knowingly contravenes with all these provisions, now everyone, any organization, any agency of the government who has been given the authority to monitor and collect traffic data or information which has been generated, received or stored in the system by the central government just to maintain cybersecurity, if any person who contravenes these kind of provisions, if he is not maintaining the cybersecurity, if he is not providing some kind of technical assistance, if he is not following the whole procedure which has been laid down or which has been prescribed by the central government and different provisions, then the offense will be there. Now, what do you mean by traffic data? Traffic data is basically any data identifying or purporting to identify any person, computer system or computer network or location to or from which the communication is or may be transmitted, and includes communication origin, destination, routes, time, data, size, duration or type of underlying service or any other information. So basically traffic data में क्या है, if we are trying to share some kind of data or information from one place to another place, then each and every thing will be there and the data will be transmitted, and it includes the different origins. One is the source where from where we have shared or transmitted the data, and the second one is the destination where the receiver will be there and he'll be receiving the data or the information, along with the route of networking which has been used for the transmission of the file, along with the time, data, size, and the of these providing the services. In case any person who is having bad intention and intentionally he is not following all these provisions of section of this section, then he will be liable for the penalty, which may be the imprisonment up to 3 years along with a fine. Then coming to section 70, it is talking about the protected system. The offense के लिए जो हम बात करते हैं उसमें क्या क्या points हैं? The government by way of notifications in the official gazette declares any computer resource which directly or indirectly affects the facility of critical information infrastructure to be protected system. Now, what do you mean by critical information infrastructure? It is basically the computer resource, the incapacitation or destruction of which shall have debilitating impact on national security, economy, public health or safety. So critical information infrastructure is basically, as the name suggests, any infrastructure which is providing you the information which is very critical. Now here we are talking about the national security, we are talking of the economy of the country, public health and safety of the country. Now any government, if the government is declaring any computer resource which directly or indirectly affects the facility of critical information system, and the government is declaring all this in the notification of the official gazette. The appropriate government by written order authorizes the person to access protected systems. Basically, we are notifying in the gazette that he is the person who is having the authority to have the access to the protected system. And until unless the list is there, until unless the person who is having the authority to have the access, in case some other person is trying to have the access, then he will be liable for the penalty. Any person who secures access, or if he is trying to attempt trying to have secure access to a protected system to which he is not authorized to have the access, then in contravention of the provision of this section, the central government will prescribe the information security practices and procedures for such protected system, and the person will be supposed to pay a fine along with the imprisonment up to 10 years. तो अगर आपने गवर्नमेंट ने अपने गजट में, ऑफिशियल गजट में अनाउंस किया हुआ है, नोटिफाई किया हुआ है, और अगर आप कोई भी क्रिटिकल इंफॉर्मेशन इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर का हिस्सा हो, आप किसी भी तरीके की नेशनल सिक्योरिटी, इकोनॉमी, पब्लिक हेल्थ या सेफ्टी से रिलेटेड के उल्टा अगर कोई काम कर रहे हो, उनके अगेंस्ट में अगर आप कोई काम कर रहे हो, एंड इफ यू आर हैविंग सम काइंड ऑफ unauthorized access, if you are trying to have unauthorized access, then the fine along with the penalty of imprisonment up to 10 years will be there. Then section 71 is talking of the penalty for misrepresentation. Now what does that mean is that any person who ever makes any misrepresentation or suppresses any material fact from the controller or the certifying authority for obtaining any kind of license or digital signature certificates, then he will be liable for the imprisonment up to 2 years or a fine up to 1 lakh rupees, or both penalties may be there. So this is basically the section where we are talking about misrepresenting the facts or identity or information, just in case the unauthorized person or the person who is involved in the act is trying to obtain any kind of license or digital signature certificate by misrepresenting the facts. So if I want any kind of license or digital signature certificate, and I am just giving the false information, if I am just misleading them, तो अगर वो पकड़ी जाती है, फॉल्स इन्फॉर्मेशन के बेसिस पर अगर मैं कोई भी सर्टिफिकेट लेने के चक्कर में थी या कोई लाइसेंस लेने के चक्कर में थी जहाँ फॉल्स इन्फॉर्मेशन थी, और वो अगर पकड़ में आ गई उनकी, then that is the offense, and then I'll be having the imprisonment up to 2 years or a fine up to 1 lakh rupees, or both penalties may also be levied on the concerned person. Then 72 section is dealing with the penalty for breach of confidentiality and privacy. That means you need to maintain the privacy, or you have to keep the confidential information confidential. You are not supposed to share it with some other person. You are not supposed to disclose the confidential information to some other people. Otherwise, in case you do the same, then that is treated as the offense. Now, if any person who has secured access to any electronic record, book, register, correspondence, or information or document or any other material without the consent of the person who is concerned, and you disclose this such kind of information to any other person, then that is the offense you have done. And for this offense, the imprisonment up to 2 years or a fine up to 1 lakh rupees, or both penalties may be there as per the situation. So अगर आपके पास permission नहीं है डिस्क्लोज करने की कोई भी इंफॉर्मेशन, और मैं अगर कहीं पे भी एक्सेस लेकर कोई भी इंफॉर्मेशन को, कोई भी डेटा, कोई भी डॉक्यूमेंट, कोई भी मटेरियल, फाइल, कोई भी जिसकी मुझे यूज़ करने की अथॉरिटी नहीं थी, मैं उसको वहाँ से रिट्रीव करके आगे शेयर कर दूँ विदाउट द कंसेंट ऑफ द कंसर्न पर्सन, देन आई विल बी लायबल फॉर द पेनल्टी. Next we have section 72A, It's talking about the punishment for the disclosure of information in breach of lawful contract. Any person who's including inclusive of intermediary who has secured access to any material which is containing personal information about some other person, then with the intention to cause any kind of harm, or if you want to do something wrong and you have wrongful gain discloses without the consent of the concerned person, or in breach of lawful contract such material to any other person, then the person who's doing such kind of illegal thing, if he is disclosing the information to some other person, then he'll be liable for the imprisonment up to 3 years or a fine up to 5 lakh rupees, or both penalties can be there. 73 section is dealing with the penalty in case you are publishing digital signature certificates falls in certain particulars. Now, the section 73 says that no person shall publish in e-signature certificate or otherwise make it available to any other person with the knowledge that certifying authority listed in the certificate has not issued it. The subscriber listed in the certificate has not accepted it, and the certificate has been revoked or suspended unless such publication is for the purpose of verifying e-signature created prior to such suspension or revocation. Any other person who contravenes the provisions of all these of this subsection 1 of section 73, then he will be liable for the imprisonment up to 2 years or a fine up to 1 lakh rupees, or both. तो यहाँ पर सेक्शन 73 यही कहता है कि if you are not authorized to publish the digital signatures or use the signatures, and if you are using the signatures, then it will be revoked, it will be suspended, and you will be having the penalty in the form of imprisonment up to 2 years or a fine up to 1 lakh rupees, or both may be there as per the situation. That means you are not allowed to use digital signature certificates officially, and you are using it and making it public, then the offense will be there. Section 74 is talking of the publication for fraudulent purposes. The offense is that any person whoever knowingly creates, publishes, or otherwise makes available digital signature certificate for any fraudulent or unlawful purpose. Basically, you have digital signature certificate which you are making available for some illegal work, for doing some kind of fraud. Basically, you are using it for some bad intention, then the imprisonment up to 2 years or a fine up to 1 lakh rupees, or both penalties can be levied on the concerned person who is doing this kind of fraud. जहां पर आप बिजनेस ट्रांजैक्शंस की बात करते हैं, क्रिप्टोग्राफी और क्रिप्टो करेंसी, आपने शीतल, यू हैव आस्क्ड फॉर द मीनिंग ऑफ क्रिप्टो करेंसी. I have not used the term cryptocurrency, but I'll let you know. I'll explain. I have used the term cryptography. Cryptography is basically the concept of encryption and decryption in the e-commerce concept. What happens is, when we have some file or document or data or information in general, and I want to share it with you all. Now, who all will be involved in this process of transmission of one file from one place to another place? I'll be sending it via mail to you, so I'll be involved. I'm just sharing it with you. You are the recipient. Then you will be there in the in the whole process, and the network through which the file will be shared, then the network is also there. Now, what is the actual process when I share the file? The file, when I attach that file in, let's say, mail, and I send it to you, the recipient, I have to give the recipient's address to which it has to be delivered. Now, what actually happens is, when I am just attaching the file, I am sharing the file with you, then till I'm just sending it, it's there in my system in the language which can be understandable to me. I can read it, I can understand it. The moment I'm sharing it with you and it's transmitted from my place, till the time you are receiving the file, it will be divided in different kind of packets, and the whole packets, all the packets in which my whole file has been, divided or distributed, the address of the recipients will be written on every packet, and the all the packets of my single file will roam around in the network, and they'll search for the actual address which has been written on those packets. That means the recipient's address. The moment the packets, they find the address of the recipient, then the file will be delivered to that person, the recipient. एक्चुअली जिसका एड्रेस होगा उसी को ही वो डिलीवर होगी, तो वो तब तक, जब तक वो सर्च नहीं कर लेंगे, ढूंढ नहीं लेंगे रिसिपिएंट को, तब तक वो नेटवर्क में ट्रेवल करते रहेंगे। अब यहाँ पर जो होता है क्रिप्टोग्राफी का जो कॉन्सेप्ट है वो क्या है कि जब मैंने फाइल को शेयर किया है तो वो जो पैकेट्स में कन्वर्ट हुए, एक तो पैकेट्स में डिस्ट्रीब्यूट हो गए, उसके अलावा में वो सेफ्टी मेंटेन करके रखने के लिए, सिक्योरिटी मेंटेन करके रखने के लिए व्हाट हैपेंस इज कि वो कोडेड लैंग्वेज में कन्वर्ट हो जाती है। तो मैंने अगर मान लीजिए एक फाइल बनाई है जो इंग्लिश लैंग्वेज में है, जो मुझे समझ में आती है, नाउ व्हाट विल हैपन, द सिस्टम विल कन्वर्ट दैट फाइल इनटू it will be converted into the coded language। तो उसकी coded language में conversion हो जाती है, which is not readable, which is not normally we cannot understand it, तो उसको decode करना पड़ेगा। ठीक है, तो जब भी हम अनऑथोराइज एक्सेस की बात करते हैं, इलीगल एक्सेस की बात करके कि भाई आपने किसी तरीके से अनऑथराइज एक्सेस गेन कर लिया है, यू आर रिट्रीविंग द इंफॉर्मेशन ऑफ डिफरेंट यूजर्स, और आप उसको मिसयूज कर रहे हो गलत काम करने के लिए, आप नुकसान पहुंचाने के लिए, तो एक सेफ्टी प्रोवाइड करने के लिए, सिक्योरिटी इनहांस करने के लिए, all the files are being converted into a coded language, and then it travels through network, so that in case any person who's trying to have the unauthorized access, and he is doing and he is retaining the information, so he may not be able to understand what is there in the file, क्योंकि वो इंग्लिश में नहीं, मतलब एक नॉर्मल लैंग्वेज में नहीं है जो आपको समझ में आएगी, एक कोडेड लैंग्वेज में है, जिसकी वजह से यू कैन से दैट सम काइंड ऑफ सिक्योरिटी इज बीइंग एनहांस्ड। अब जैसे ही वो रिसिपिएंट का एड्रेस देख लेगा जिसको एक्चुअली वो फाइल डिलीवर करनी थी, द फाइल विल बी डिलीवर्ड टू हिम आफ्टर गेटिंग इट डिकोडेड। तो वो एनक्रिप्शन का प्रोसेस हुआ था कि जब मैंने भेजी तो वो कोडेड लैंग्वेज में कन्वर्ट होकर ट्रेवल किया, जब रिसिपिएंट के पास जाएगी तो वो वापस से कोडेड लैंग्वेज से डीकोड की जाएगी, सिस्टम अपने आप करेगा, और वो नॉर्मल लैंग्वेज में जो कि सामने रिसिपिएंट को समझ में आएगी उसके हिसाब से जो मैंने प्लेन टेक्स्ट में फॉर्म फाइल भेजी थी उसी फॉर्म पे कन्वर्ट होके वो रिसिपिएंट तक पहुंच जाएगी। नाउ दिस इज द प्रोसेस ऑफ क्रिप्टोग्राफी, वी यूज these terms in e-commerce। Now coming to the concept of cryptocurrency, cryptocurrency is basically a virtual currency। जैसे आपके बिटकॉइंस अगर आपने सुने हैं तो वो आपकी क्रिप्टो करेंसी होती है कि वो एक पैसे हैं, एक करेंसी है, लाइक मेरे पास 500 का नोट है, 2000 का, 50 का, 100 का, ये जितने भी हैं करेंसी जो हम लोग मार्केट में यूज करते हैं, सो दैट वी कैन एक्सचेंज सम गुड्स और सर्विसेज, कोई भी ट्रांजेक्शन्स करने के लिए वो हम करेंसीज जो एक्चुअल में करेंसी है उसकी वैल्यू है वो हम यूज कर रहे हैं मार्केट में कोई भी ट्रांजेक्शन्स करने के लिए। नाउ क्रिप्टो करेंसी इज बेसिकली द करेंसी व्हिच इज इन वर्चुअल फॉर्मेट, आपके पास एक्चुअली में नहीं है लेकिन वर्चुअल लेवल पे है। तो अगर मैं ई वॉलेट्स की भी बात करती हूँ तो ई वॉलेट्स में अगर मैं कहूँ कि 100 रुपये हैं तो कीमत तो 100 रुपये की है, आई कैन मेक परचेजेस और आई कैन अवेल सर्विसेज ऑफ 1 लाख रुपीज़, लेकिन उसकी फिजिकल कॉपी नहीं है मेरे पास कहीं पे भी, उसके नोट नहीं है, तो वो एक करेंसी है जो मेरी सिस्टम पे है। तो दैट इज जैसे बिटकॉइंस हैं एक एग्जांपल जिसमें आजकल ट्रेडिंग भी बहुत ज़्यादा होती है, तो these all are the cryptocurrency where we are talking of the currency in virtual manner, actually में नहीं है लेकिन virtually you have the currency। And the next question of yours is the meaning of adjudication। इसका मतलब ये है कि जो हम e-commerce में जो हमने provisions पढ़े हैं Information Technology Act 2000 के, तो where we are talking of the law, the provisions which have been laid down by the law और दी एक्ट 2000 इंफॉर्मेशन टेक्नोलॉजी एक्ट, तो उसमें हम ये देख रहे हैं कि किस सेक्शन के अंडर में कौन सा ऑफेंस है, और उसके ऑफेंस अगर आपका प्रूव हो जाता है कि हाँ किसी इंडिविजुअल ने ये गड़बड़ की है, ये उसने गलती की है, देन ही इज लायबल फॉर सम काइंड ऑफ पेनल्टी। जो उसने डैमेज क्रिएट किया है उसके लिए उसको पेनल्टी देनी पड़ेगी। तो वो सारे जो प्रोविजंस हैं, वो सारा का सारा आपका जो लॉ है, बेसिकली यू हैव डिफरेंट प्रोविजंस इन लॉ ऑफ इंफॉर्मेशन टेक्नोलॉजी एक्ट 2000, जो आपका एक्ट है, जो लॉ है पूरा का पूरा, विच इज टॉकिंग ऑफ द सिक्योरिटी ऑफ ई कॉमर्स। तो आपका साइबर क्राइम, साइबर ऑफेंसेस अगर कहीं पे भी हैं तो उसके लिए आपका जो भी लॉ है, जो भी प्रोविजंस हैं, वो सारा का सारा आपका इसमें आता है। दैट इज द एजुकेशन की लॉ आपको क्या कह रहा है, उसके सेक्शंस कौन से हैं, वो क्या आपको बताते हैं, क्या पेनल्टी है, क्या ऑफेंसेस हैं, दैट इज द कॉन्सेप्ट। आई होप नाउ इट्स क्लियर टू यू। In case you have some other problem, then you can contact me via chat box. In case you have some other doubt, you can ask me. Okay, no more questions. I hope you all understood the concepts. In last lecture, I shared the PPT, PDF with Sheetal. Sheetal, I just request you to share those PDF with all other students who are connected to you, either on chat box with your teams only, or maybe if you have some WhatsApp group, you can share those PDFs so that other students can also go through those PDFs. And I have also shared those PDF in this chat box. अगर आप लोगों को किसी को कहीं problem हो, then you can just send the message on Teams itself. I'll just check it and communicate. Now this is the last lecture we are having. I just wish you all the best. अपने एग्जाम्स अच्छे से कीजिए and stay safe and healthy. All the best for your exams. Take care. Bye bye.